guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. I have for you guys how I clean my brushes, what I use to clean my brushes. This was a video requested over on my Spanish channel, and again, since I was already filming it over there, I decided to film it for you guys as well. Now I want to share with you guys the most amazing, the best products to clean your brushes. I have two and I swear by these like no other. I've tried all sorts of products to clean my brushes. I've used like shampoo, baby shampoo. I've used a pink soap called Sote. I've used Beauty Blender cleanser, the little bars. I've used some Juno & Co cleansers, some Japanese cleansers. I've just used all kinds of products, and these two are definitely the ones that I feel like are the absolute best, that get everything out of your brushes and sponges, all the gunk, all the foundation, everything. This gets it out. So I'm going to start off by sharing those products. The first one is this Dr. Bronner's Hemp Citrus Orange Pure Cast Out Soap. Now they have different, I was gonna say different flavors. They have different scents. They have lavender, they have peppermint, they have no scent. They have all different kinds of scents, but it's not a very intense scent that you'll be like, oh, it's too strong. And I feel like it doesn't linger on your brushes once they dry. Once they're wet, that you can obviously still smell it, but once they dry up, I get no scent from this. And this is amazing. This breaks everything down. I get these at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Home Goods because they are much cheaper there, but they do have them available at Target, Walmart, and a few other stores. And yeah, this stuff is amazing. I need to get a big jug because they come in different sizes. I think this is their medium size. They have a bigger one and like a little travel size one at Target that I've seen. And then I like to use this other product in kind of both of them together. So this is just a typical, bar of soap, but it is from Dr. Bronner's as well. And it's the same color, the yellow orange one, the citrus orange scent. Same one. I find these at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and those style of stores as well. But I know those stores are closed right now. You can definitely find them at Target. That's where I've seen them as well. And I like both of them together. It's just perfection, both of them. So I have brushes that get really, really dirty, especially like the kabuki style foundation brushes. Those get really, really funky. So I like to pour some of this in a little container. This is a little tin. I pour it in there and I dip my brush in. Then I set it over to the side and let it soak and break up the product for a while. And as I'm doing that, I wash other brushes, eye brushes, sponges, all that. I do the same thing for my sponges. I like to put them in this little container, fill it with water, start putting the sponges in here, and I also put some of this liquid soap because it helps, and I like squeeze them a little so it could start absorbing the product, and I let them sit again so that can do its job and kind of break up all the product, and it works really, really good. Now if there's some that are really, really intensely funky and gunky that you can't get the foundation out, after they're done soaking, I will move them onto here, give it a little swirl, and that will finish off the job. And it's amazing. You don't have to have both of them, but for me, I've just got used to using it this way, and it's the best way I've found that gets everything out of my brushes and sponges. So that's why I love both of the products, and I don't mind using both of them because like I feel like they help one another, so it's like the perfect combo. And then I have these little silicone mats. This one, a little pineapple silicone mat. It's not too big, which I find better because the bigger one, I felt like I was rubbing it all over. This one, I just have to go back and forth because this stuff, once you swirl your brush in here, it's kind of helping you take the product out, and you guys will be able to see that. Like there's some brushes I don't even have to swirl them in here to get the product out. I swirl them in the sponge. I swirl them in the soap, and you can see it change color immediately. It gets all the gunk out that I don't even have to like swirl them in here to help it. The soap does the job amazingly, which is why it's such an amazing product in my opinion. So I use this just for the ones that I really, do need to apply on here. swirl on there. And then this one is just a little more convenient. You put your finger in there, you kind of hold it that way, and then, you know, you're doing this with your brush. I hold it like this sometimes. I hold it like this. But another thing that I like to do that you guys will see in the video is I kind of help the brushes that have some product left over in the center. I get very extra about having my sponges or brushes with any like little like stain of foundation or something that really I didn't get out. I just am very extra about that, so I will go over again and get all the gunk out. So for example, this is a very dense kabuki brush. This is a Real Techniques brush, and when I was washing it, I still had some product in the center. So I take this little silicone little finger thing, and with this front part, as you guys can see how it is, I go ahead and I brush this like this. I will just go like this until I see the product coming out, and it works amazingly. I've done it with other foundation brushes, and I do it with my sponges as well. But the reason I started doing it was I started doing it with my microfiber velvet sponges from Juno & Co. because some of them had some leftover product that just couldn't come out. So I would do this, like kind of rub them back and forth with soap, and it took everything out. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys to go and do this to all your sponges because some are very sensitive, like these that are not like microfiber or velvet sponges. These can rip very, very easily if you're doing that a lot. So I wouldn't recommend you do it if you're going to be like super rough with it, because then you can destroy your sponge. But if you're going to be very gentle and there's just one specific part of foundation that doesn't want to come out, this really, really does help. It's been a game changer for me, honestly, and for my sponges. They are now spotless, super, super clean and beautiful. And yeah, that's just something I wanted to explain because I don't want everyone who has one of these to go out and like go crazy on their sponges, because then you're gonna be like, girl, I just destroyed all my sponges because of you. No, no, no. I'm letting you know to be careful because you can destroy them. I'm gentle with them. The only ones I'm really rough with are the ones that are the microfiber velvet sponges, because those it just looks like you're brushing the little hairs on the sponge, and so it doesn't like irritate or, you know, cause any rips in the sponge. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I thought it was very important. And yeah, that's basically it, the little rundown that I wanted to give you guys. Now let's get on to cleaning the brushes and sponges because it's a lot. Okay guys, very quickly I want to show you the setup. I make sure I do this before I wash my brushes, before I start, so as I'm washing them I can bring them to dry. Now these are little cloths that I use, and you know, I can rewash these. I know some of them are stained already, but that's all makeup stains. So this is basically my setup. This is a little table I have, and these are just products that are in boxes, or on this side I have foundations, and I just set them up like this so that when my brushes are clean, let me get a brush so I can show you guys, I can lay them like this, and that way they dry faster, and it doesn't let the water seep into the ferrule, because once you do that a lot, you wash your brushes a lot and you let the water, you know, start seeping into the ferrule, that's when they start kind of like breaking, or the glue will start softening and this part will come off. So I've been doing this for the longest and it works very, very well, especially with bigger brushes, because I find that when I lay them like this, they take a lot longer to dry than when I do this. Alright guys, so as I let my sponges soak, I want to show you guys how good this soap works on my foundation brush. This is a Sigma Kabuki brush that was very funky, full of foundation, and this soap really gets all the stuff out. Of course, there are some that, you know, you need to go back in and, you know, do a little more, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be, I don't have to apply that much product, and this soap doesn't dry up my brushes. It doesn't make them, you know, stiff or anything like that. As you can see, I'm going to go back in because I see a little tiny bit of foundation, barely any, but I can definitely still see it and it bothers me. So I just go back in a little bit and, you know, make sure I scrub the middle part of the brush at the little bristles, and then rinse it again, and it's all good, nice and clean. As you can see, you know, now there's nothing left in it, which is exactly how I like to see my brushes. Now you guys are going to see how I take my sponges out of the little container. I rub a little bit of the bar of soap after they've been soaking with a liquid soap, and that just helps break down the product even more. And you guys can see they end up looking very nice and clean. Now when there's some that need a little more, you know, love to them and a little more washing, I put more soap on them and I let them sit for another while, like this one, as you guys can see. Or I will use the little silicone brush thing and brush the part of the sponge that needs a little more help. I know it looks like I'm going super crazy on the brush, but that's just because I have this clip sped up. You know, it's not that I'm really brushing them that hard. I go gentle on them, and I continue to check if the product's out and keep rinsing them so I won't have to scrub that much. But basically, that's all I do on these, and good as new, super clean, squeaky clean, which is what I love to see. And the same thing for these microfiber velvet sponges, that once I started doing this to them, they just became super clean. Every time I do this, when I clean them or wash my sponges, like, it's my favorite thing to wash is the sponges, because they get really nicely cleaned up, and I love that. Especially these bigger sponges that I use for foundation sometimes are like super annoying to get the product out, but brushing them has changed so much, and I really like it. Again, remember to be very gentle, specifically with these sponges that aren't microfiber velvet ones, because you can definitely tear them, rip them. I think it's happened to one of my sponges, but that one was very sensitive, very gentle sponge. So just be careful and it'll all be good. Now we're going to move into the eye brushes. I want to show you guys some of these brushes that are very dirty or have an intense color like this one. This one was a brush I used for a red eyeshadow, and sometimes red tends to stain certain brushes. I feel like with the Dr. Bronner's soap, I don't have any more issue with my brushes remaining stained, which is another thing that I really, really like about these soaps. As you guys can see, it didn't take any like super hard effort to get the product out. The soap literally did the work for me, and it's all nice and clean, all nice and white. The little bristles aren't stained. Here we go with another one. Just wanted to share this up close so you guys can really see that this really gets the stuff out, the gunk, all the excess product out of the brushes and sponges. And it's very effortlessly, in my opinion, which is why, again, I like these soaps. I need to stop saying I like these soaps. Clearly, you guys can tell I like them and that they work really, really good. So now let's move on to washing a bunch of eye brushes. Okay guys, this next brushes that I'm going to wash, I feel like a lot of people don't really um care to wash. The spoolies on your eyebrow brushes are very, very important to wash. Even if you don't have them on your eyebrow brushes and you just have spoolies, make sure you wash those, because when you do your eyebrows, when you brush them out, when you have product and you fix your eyebrows, you know, product goes on those. And the more you keep them, keep using them and not washing them, it can create bacteria. It can have like all, you know, the dirty makeup, old makeup, and start become grimy and just super, super gross. So make sure you guys wash those as well. I always do it. I saw like a post on Facebook, I think, of someone who got an infection in their eyebrow area. They thought it was a pimple, and it was actually an infection they got from not washing those little brush at the end of your brow brushes. So now, like, I always always wash them. Now here I'm showing you guys how the liquid soap breaks up the liquid lipstick. My brushes that I use to like perfect my liquid lipstick. I know, I'm sorry, the shots are blurry. I'm, you know, kind of new to finding good angles for all of this stuff, so it was a bit blurry, but you guys can clearly see that they were very, very dirty, full of liquid lipstick, and that's something very hard to get out of a product because it starts becoming hard and it'll just harden up. So I like to use the liquid first so it can really break up all that, and then I go back into the bar of soap and it completely cleans that out. Okay guys, so this is what my brushes look like, my face brushes at least. They are all completely dry, but I did want to show you guys how I had them, you know, as they're drying, how they end up. And I like to put them in a place where they're not going to be in my way, where I am not going to need to move them while they're drying, because I mean that defeats the purpose. But yeah, they are all now dry, which I'm very, very happy about because I can use them again.